The boom of having to know AI or not getting a job is officially here. It used to just be job listings like being a software engineer or being in tech where you needed to know AI. But now job listings across every corner of the job market, sales, HR, legal, customer support, education, healthcare, even truck driving, AI is a requirement for your resume. So, is artificial intelligence officially your job right now? Let's dig into it here with Ajay Pangarkar, a workplace performance strategist. Ajay, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me in your show, David. I'm looking forward to chatting with you about this really insightful topic.
So, I used to be in software before I switched careers into media. My mom describes my career shift as me deciding that I hated money. That's a topic for another time. But regardless, I was in that industry before AI. I remember what job listings had as requirements. You have to know this technology. You have to know this programming language. It didn't surprise me when it started to be the case that you needed to use AI to do your job as a coder, as a software developer. But like as a healthcare worker, how have these job listings shifted nowadays?
Well, I mean, to your point, David, in the past, we've both grown up in a generation where software's been, infiltrated into all the careers. And so myself, I was originally in finance and accounting, and you had to know Excel. And even the CPAs would teach you or test you on your Excel skills. So there was always a sense of always having technology involved in your life. And that's reality. And AI is no different. But like you said, it's moved from where it was part of the technology groups into other industries. And so it is part of as part of a worker, you need to understand how this applies to your job, because what companies want from AI is to help facilitate the role. Not necessarily replace the worker, which a lot of people believe that they're going to be replaced. That's not here yet. And I don't know if that will come, but maybe down the road, and maybe on my lifetime. But for now, AI is seen as a facilitating tool to help workers. So you need to be able to know how to use and apply this. I'll use this in an anecdotal aspect. And I just told you I was involved in accounting. I know there's a lot of accounting functions right now being replaced by AI. It was already being replaced by Excel and other tools. Accounting software tools. But now AI is infiltrating and taking away the basic roles for accounting. So for accountants, now they have to understand, okay, how do I use the AI tool to make my job better, more insightful, more inquisitive, and more in depth and quicker? That's the point here with AI, is it's got to be quicker and more efficient. And that's what companies are looking for from workers or employees like you or me, to be able to use that within their workflow.
Now, is the expectation valid, or is it employers buying into hype, feeling like they would get left behind? We're not going to be a great company unless we somehow embrace AI without even figuring out what it means to embrace AI. I know. Is this true for some employers? They're just buying into hype?
There's a two-part question there, David. I mean, one is, yes, I think it's a little bit of both. In one sense, there's some hype, and I think companies don't want to be left behind technologically. Sorry, just got stuck.
It's a tough one. Technologically,
yes. They don't want to be left behind, and they want to make sure that they're keeping up with the Joneses, kind of thing. However, there's the other part of it where they're saying, okay, we need to move faster, quicker, and we need to know this information immediately. We can't wait a day, we can't wait an hour. We need something faster than we are used to. So at this point, companies are looking at productivity, which leads to better profitability, maybe revenue generation down the road with the AI tool helping them facilitate that. So in essence, it's a little bit of both. However, here's a caveat. AI is still not perfect. It's improving, right? But, we still know that when we put something into ChatGPT, sometimes it's not 100% correct. AI is still not 100% correct, not yet anyways. So sometimes the information that comes across may mislead companies, and there has been errors in the past. Right now, I can't even think of examples, but there have been errors of companies.
Well, it hallucinates, I've heard of cases where lawyers will use AI to prepare a brief for the court, and then the legal filings will reference another case. Yep. That case doesn't exist. It'll do things like that.
Or AI will misinterpret the case, depending on the judgment. So yes, or, a healthcare worker or a surgeon is using AI to help them facilitate a surgery coming up and maybe mislead them and misdirect them. Now, that's where the human intelligence has to come into play, and judgment has to come into play, and not solely focus on the dependence on the AI tool itself, because we have to realize that the AI tool will help us, but it will not replace us as far in terms of judgment at this point. And that's where employees have to push back a little bit with their employers.
So this growing demand for AI skills, there's people listening who do jobs like I don't know, maybe they're a therapist, maybe they're a truck driver. There have been listings for truck drivers that have to use AI. And they think to themselves, I don't want to do this. What are their options? Can they ignore the hype? Can they fight back and demand to be able to do their job without AI? Or is the sad reality they got to get with the program and learn it anyway?
Regretfully, I believe the latter. I don't think the fight is going to be worthwhile unless you are within an environment that's unionized that will push back. But still, I think that's only a temporary pushback, because as we move forward in this area, I mean, look at the controversies around, these companies building AI data centers around the world and all that stuff going on. There's a reason they wanted all that power. Right? They're not investing billions and billions of dollars to build these things so they can just sit there and not use half of it. The point being is that it's a slope that's getting steeper for people to push back on. And if you are in a field, unfortunately, with even the more the blue collar roles, like we talk truck drivers or cabbies or whatever it may be, that those roles are really trying to get automated more and more, because there's a lot of inefficiencies from the perspectives of employers in those areas, and they want to become more efficient, more streamlined, and that's going to be very difficult. So if I was a truck driver, for example, I'd really try to skill up on how is this AI going to affect my role within driving that truck, right? What do I need to know? Right now, it may not be replacing me as a driver, hopefully not for another decade or so, but at the same time, there are tools in that truck that they need to know. And it's already been happening in technology. I mean, Walmart has been famously known for using technology to do what they call cross inventory movements, which means that, they can understand what store from one area has what product to another area and make sure trucks in between can meet to make exchange inventories. This is not done by just somebody talking what's in your truck. This is through technology and satellite tracking. So the technology is not new. Now it's just got more automated.
Yeah.
And so that's the point where I need to know as a truck driver, what do I need to know in AI to be able to make my job better?
As we get older, though, it's a sad thing. We calcify. We become more resistant to change, and we don't want to learn new things because it's tough and it's hard. So I think a lot of people are resistant to learning this. But we should, rather than treat it with cynicism or like, oh, I don't want to learn this new skill, learning new things at any age is good for your brain.
Absolutely.
The novel experience can help you stay sharp and change as a person. I guess maybe embrace it. It's weird me saying that because I'm actually an AI skeptic. I don't love the technology. I think it's ruining a lot of things, especially creative fields. I don't like what it's happening in music where you can generate music. But at the same time, if this is happening to you at your job, rather than just be grumpy about it, learning about it might be the best move.
Well, yes, I think learning anything is great for the mind, especially as you get older. And I try not to be calcified. That's a great term, actually, David, that you brought up. I try to really push myself when I feel I get stuck or entrenched in something. I got to push myself at those boundaries. And AI is one of those areas. But to your point, here's the issue. And I think Andrew Coyne of the Globe and Mail said this recently at an event he was speaking at about AI. And he says, in the past, technology is meant to improve our roles in the workplace and whatever. And so we're always in control of that technology. So if it was a software like a Microsoft Office, whatever, that's what we were doing to help that. However, AI now is not just helping us improve, but it's actually going to help possibly displace us.
Yeah.
And that's what scares people, right? That it's a displacement that why would they need me anymore? And I think that's where the calcification may come with AI, and the pushback. So that is my little bit of a worry here. And I'm worried about AI as a whole moving forward in the workplace.
Well, you can check out Ajay Pangarkar's book, Learning Metrics, How to Measure the Impact of Organizational Learning. That's available wherever books are sold. Ajay is a workplace performance strategist. Ajay, thanks for joining me.
This was awesome. Thank you, David, and have a great day.